Free agency rumors are escalating as the newest name in the Calgary Flames free agency rumor mill is Jake DeBrusk, and it seems as though a lot of the fan base has already kind of made up their mind about this player, but in this video we will be going over the new target and if this makes sense for the Calgary Flames at where they are at as an organization and in their retooling right now. But before we get into all of that, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. And we would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And without further ado, let's just hop right in to the new target being revealed. And now this one, obviously, it's no secret. You've seen it in the thumbnail. I already mentioned his name at the top of the video, but it is, of course, Jake DeBrusk. And I don't know, so far it seems as though the verdict on whether to sign him or not is already in. We will get into that later in this video, but it already seems like it's kind of made up at this point. But let's get into this. So here's a little tweet here from the Andrew Mangiapane is the best Fiery Breadman account on Twitter. Says, a source tells the win column that there is mutual interest between DeBrusk and the Flames. This, of course, being Jake DeBrusk, not Louis. Louis will not be the replacement for Rick Ball. That's not to say there will be a deal consummated on July 1st, but it is certainly a possibility. DeBrusk also has mutual interest with the Oilers and a third team, which I believe to be the Carolina Hurricanes. So it looks like DeBrusk is kind of getting interest from a few different teams. The Oilers, they're in an interesting situation when it comes to the salary cap next season. And of course, we'll see what happens in the Stanley Cup final. That game last night was absolutely ridiculous. Not something I ever wanted to see. And then the Hurricanes, they also do have a lot of cap space. Would they want to add a player like DeBrusk? Potentially, but the Flames definitely are in the best spot to do so, and if the player has interest in signing here, that's always a bonus as well, but still, we will get into if it makes sense or not. Now, real quick, let's just take a look at DeBrusk's stats from last season. So this was him, obviously, formerly of the Boston Bruins. He's played his entire career there thus far. So this past season, not exactly his best season numbers-wise, but still not terrible. You know, a point every other game. He had 40 points in 80 games, 19 goals, 21 assists, +4 on a pretty good Boston team and almost 17 minutes of ice time. You know, still decently young, kind of hitting his more prime years now. But a Corsi for percentage under 50 isn't exactly, you know, something to be super pumped about. So either way, you know, not an awful player. Definitely could be more of a role player when it comes down to it, but not a first-line winger at all kind of thing. And is that what the Flames are after? I mean, not necessarily. Real quick here, let's take a look at his stats from his career. So he's played, like I said, his entire career with the Boston Bruins. I mean, most people know quite a bit about him. The Bruins are obviously a very covered team in the media, and DeBrusk is a very well-known player, but not some bad stats over his career, you know? Some good amount of goals every season, ranging around 20 to 30 for the most part, other than, you know, 2020, 2021 is obviously an outlier there. Didn't have a great season in that weird season where, you know, the teams just played against the same 5 other teams pretty much the whole year. But those are his stats. Take them with what you will. Pretty, I don't know, standard, I guess, for a middle six forward kind of thing. We know he's good. He's not the most skilled player, but that being said, he has flashes every now and then, can be a little bit more gritty, and either way, that's the player himself. But like everyone wants to know, let's get into the verdict here as to whether the Flames should sign him or not. It'll be interesting to see what he goes for as well, what he asks for. You know, a lot of people don't want to pay someone like that over $5 million, but the way the NHL is right now with the salary cap going up, players are going to be asking for more. It'll be interesting to see. I don't have any exact numbers, and I'm not going to guess what the term or the actual amount will be per year, but just know that it wouldn't exactly be the cheapest signing. Now, let's get into an article here. This is from the Win column. I believe it's from James Johnson as well, so credit to him here. Does it make sense for the team to pursue DeBrusk? Not really. And I will say right here, right now, I completely agree. I do not want to see the Calgary Flames sign Jake DeBrusk. I know a lot of people will because of what he can bring to the game, but through this article and what I will have to add to it, it'll just be my opinion about why the Flames maybe shouldn't sign him. But let's continue here. The Flames have a plethora of middle six wingers already, and I could not agree more about that. In their current position, it makes little to no sense to commit term and or dollars to DeBrusk, but it would be a very Flames thing to do, and isn't that the truth? Hopefully not with this new management team. It won't be the most Flames things to do, but it would probably be something that, you know, a former certain manager probably would have done. Signing a player like DeBrusk just locks in the same old story going forward. DeBrusk is a fine player. Oh, you know what? I'm going to click this one instead. DeBrusk is a fine player, but he's not a great or elite one. He's a left shot winger who can play either side and puts up 20 to 25 goals and 40 to 50 points-ish per season. If that sounds familiar, it's because the Flames have a ton of the exact same player on their team already. And it's not like DeBrusk is that much of an upgrade on the ones that the Flames already do have. And it's not like he's a huge downgrade either. It would just be another of the same player pretty much. This next month is going to be an interesting one for the Flames. General manager Craig Conroy had little flexibility to add or make changes to the team last summer. With a ton of cap space, it should be interesting to see what direction the team chooses to go. Now, I can't remember which button I'm supposed to press next. Let's try this one. I'm going to go back to, you know, my good old full screen here, and then we'll press this. So, like the article said, and like I kind of added on, you look at the Flames roster right now, these were the lines on, you know, game 82 from the regular season against San Jose. This is kind of what the Flames were doing. You add DeBrusk in there on either side, and it doesn't really change all that much. And you want to use your free agency signings as something that will benefit the team, of course. Adding DeBrusk to this, all I really see it doing is taking playing time away from maybe some of the other players. I mean, you look at that fourth line there, Coronado on the wing or Klapka on the other side. I think a lot of Flames fans want to see both of those guys on the Flames roster in the upcoming season. You look at other guys around here, for some of them, you don't know if they might get traded away, like Mangiapane or Kuzmenko even. We've even had Sharangovich and Huberdeau trade rumors kind of things. But you look at all those forwards the Flames have, DeBrusk doesn't make sense. It's just the exact same thing. I really don't see why you would want to commit term and contract, you know, salary space for DeBrusk. I really don't see it being all that viable of an option. And my personal verdict is definitely no. Stay away from him. But of course, I do want to know from you guys what you think about this one. And real quick, before we get into the comment of the day, I of course just wanted to say a happy Father's Day to all of the fathers, you know, out there in the sea of red, all the fathers watching this video. I just had a wonderful lunch with my dad, and I got to see my grandpa yesterday as well, my grandfather, shall we say. I'm super privileged to have them in my life, and of course, they're big Flames fans being here in Calgary. But if you are a father or you have a great father, we can all celebrate Father's Day, and I think that is very, very nice. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. But like I said, let's get into the aforementioned comment of the day, everyone's favorite part of the day. And this one, I almost went a whole video without talking about it, but of course it has to do with the Jacob Markstrom trade rumors. And I like this comment here from our boy Tater Nuts one of our regulars here around the channel, Atlanta's finest. And he had to say, in the words of the late great Tom Petty, the waiting is the hardest part. Can we just get a Markstrom deal done already? I know. The Markstrom trade rumor saga is never ending, and of course we're always talking about it here on Flames Digest and just within, you know, the Flames community online. And my goodness, we just want something to finally happen, or at least know if something won't happen. I think all of us want something to happen, but of course we will just have to wait and see, even though we're all begging for something to finally take place. Thank you so much for commenting that. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.